Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We are going to be going over Rogue for pre-patch TBC today to see all of the different changes for Rogue, leaving just Paladin as the last class that we're going to cover for TBC pre-patch. Also, as soon as we finish this series for TBC pre-patch, I am super excited to finally get onto TBC content. We have a lot of stuff in store. But without further ado, let's get into this Rogue breakdown for TBC pre-patch. Alright guys, starting off with the Pve specs, we're of course going to be talking about the spec that we're going to be playing off of from Classic WoW, and that is a deep combat build because, as we all know, combat swords is just a really solid Pve spec for rogues in Classic WoW and in TBC. So looking at this tree, a lot of it is really the same. Improves Sinister Strike, reduces the energy cost of Sinister Strike, all the same. Gouge, all the same, nothing crazy here. Improved Slice and Dice. Now, this isn't necessarily different. The only thing that changed here is improved Slice and Dice used to be in the Assassination Tree, and now it's in the Combat Tree. So now we can actually use Slice and Dice in the Combat Tree and don't have to dip points into the Assassin Tree to pick it up. Also, we pick up Precision, Endurance, Improved Sprint. Again, all things that we had in Classic WoW. Dual Wield Specialization, Blade Flurry, Sword Specialization, all had it in Classic WoW. Now we have Weapon Expertise, and this back in Classic WoW gave us Weapon Skill, which is basically the same thing as Expertise in TBC, so basically the same thing. Aggression, basically the same thing. And then now we finally, when we get to the third to last tier of the talent tree, now we finally start to see some new talent points. The first of those being Vitality. Increases your total stamina by 4% and your total agility by 2%. Honestly, guys, I feel like this talent point is pretty I mean, increased stamina in PvE is not huge because, you're a DPSer. You don't absolutely need extra stamina. Sure, it helps to, maybe it might save your life from dying to a certain ability every now and then, but it's not, it's nothing crazy or anything like that. But 2% agility is pretty decent. It's not a huge percent. 2% is pretty small. So I'm not going to say that this absolutely changes the game for Combat Rogue. This is game breaking for Combat Rogue. Wow, check out that. It's nothing like that, but it's still kind of nice. But something that is actually very significant for Combat Rogue is what comes next in the next tier of the talent tree, and that is Combat Potency. And for all of you Rogue mains out there, I'm sure you know damn well what this does. Gives your offhand successful melee attacks a 20% chance to generate 15 energy. Now, this is actually huge compared to Rogues in Classic WoW, because in Rogues in Classic WoW, you don't really have anything in your talent tree or really in your toolkit to gain extra energy other than maybe Rinataki's or Thistle Tea, but no consistent form of generating extra energy. Now, with Combat Potency, we do. And not only do we have Combat Potency, but again, if you're attacking really fast with improved Slice and Dice, or if you have a fast offhand as well, Combat Potency is just going to feel really good. And honestly, this is a great, not only DPS increase for rogues, but just a quality of life upgrade as well, because it feels bad, getting stuck in that rhythm as a rogue where it's like Sinister Strike, wait, Sinister Strike, wait. Now this kind of gives a little bit of variability to your gameplay. Sometimes getting big spikes in your energy gains, sometimes you don't get too many procs on this, but it makes it feel like your spec is more alive. You know what I mean? And then the last and final talent is your finishing moves can no longer be dodged. The damage dealt by your Sinister Strike, Backstab, Shiv, and Gouge is increased by 10%. And clearly, the thing that we care most about here is that juicy Sinister Strike damage, since that's the primary ability that we're going to be spending all of our energy on, except for our finishing moves, of course. So this is really nice to have It would be nice if this was just a flat percent damage bonus to everything, but it's still nice that it's a damage bonus to one of our most used moves. Then I decided, after we finished in the combat tree, looking at the subtlety tree, we don't quite have enough points to get anything seriously significant, so we ended up pointing our points into the assassination tree for improved Eviscerate for a better combo point finisher, Malice for a little bit extra critical strike rating, and you could say, alive, why not Murder? Murder is really good as well, but remember, this is TBC pre-patch, you guys, so we're going to be rating Naxxramas. And there are pretty much no humanoids, giants, beasts, or dragonkins in Naxxramas, other than Grand Widow, Fairlena, and the Acolytes and things like that. There's very few humanoids, but no giants, pretty much no beasts or dragonkins. So really, Murder's not that great. So instead, we decided to put a few extra points in Malice and then finally pick up Ruthlessness as our very final talent point to finish off this build. Now, I will mention, I talked to Sarth about doing this video with me, and unfortunately, Sarth was a little bit busy and unable to come and record for this video, but he did send me an extra build for combat, and that is for a combat dagger build, which he feels is a little bit underrated with TBC pre-patch. So we are going to look at another combat build that is a combat dagger build that he sent me. This build is a little bit different, so it doesn't get 3 points in aggression, it doesn't go for vitality, it doesn't go for surprise attacks, it doesn't go for combat potency. Instead, it stops at Adrenaline Rush and picks up Opportunity 4 out of 5 to get 16% increased damage on your backstab, and then picking up things like Puncturing Wounds for extra 30% critical strike chance on your backstab, and 5 points into lethality. So if you are a rogue that just prefers playing daggers and wants to be combat, this is a pretty good combat build for a dagger rogue. Now, something I did want to mention, and I don't think that this is going to be better than combat in general, but for all of you rogue players out there that really, really love playing daggers and you don't want to be combat, I did make a Deep Assassination Mutilate build as well. And remember, we're not going to have Envenom. Envenom is something we learn beyond level 60. But I know a lot of people are going to be asking, if I leave it out of this video, they're going to ask, what about Mutilate? So we did make a Mutilate build for all of you Dagger Rogues, and that is going to be the third and final PvE build that we're going to cover for the Rogue class. And this is what I came up with for the Mutilate PvE setup. And again, I'm going to reiterate to you guys, I don't think that this is going to be better than Combat Swords. I don't think it's going to yield more DPS, but I know me personally, I used to play a rogue from vanilla all the way to Cataclysm back in the day, and I loved Assassination. I loved the feel of Mutilate. Unfortunately, Mutilate builds weren't really that great until Wrath of Lich King, especially the earlier stages of Wrath of Lich King before you got crazy amounts of armor penetration. But I really like the playstyle of Mutilate. So let's dip in and dive into this talent build setup, because this talent build setup feels a lot different than what we're used to. Now, starting off the build, we got improved Eviscerate, and this is going to be our combo point finisher, because like I said before, sure, we want to keep up Slice and Dice, but we don't have Envenom. We only have Eviscerate and Slice and Dice as our combo point finishers. So we ended up going improved Eviscerate, Malice, Ruthlessness, Puncturing Wounds to increase our critical strike chance of our Mutilate by 15%. Really, really nice pickup here. Lethality, increase the critical strike damage of our Mutilate by 30%. Improved Expose Armor, because I'm sure if you end up going this Mutilate build, you're probably going to be the Expose Armor bitch, unfortunately. Relentless Strikes, Vile Poisons, and Improved Poisons. And these two talents aren't really insanely good or anything like that. They're just minor upgrades to your damage, but these are kind of filler talent points to get down to the later talent points, because we don't really need Remorseless Attacks, and kind of like I said before, Murder is a good talent to pick up, but it's not really that good in Naxxramas, so we decided to not pick up these or go for fleeted footwork or improved kidney shot or quick recovery. Maybe you could go improved kidney shot for like some cheesy trash stuff, but really I feel like these 3 talent points in PvE raid scenarios are really not that great as well. So we ended up going for these 2 poison talent points to really fill our talent tree and get down to these later stages. So again, we have improved poisons, increases your chance to apply poison to your target by 10%, and vile poisons increases the damage dealt by your poisons and envenom ability by 20%. Again, we don't have envenom, but at least it's increasing the damage of our poisons. Then, of course, we have Cold Blood, Seal Fate. Your critical strikes from abilities that add combo points have 100% chance to add an additional combo point. It's really, really good. One of the notable talent points in the Assassination Tree. 1 out of 5 Master Poisoner reduces the chance that poisons will be resisted by 5% and increases your chance to resist poison effects by an additional 15%. Now, again, this is one of those talent points that doesn't really do much for your damage profile, but there's not really that great of talent points in other slots. Deadening Nerves decreases the physical damage you take, but in PvE raid scenarios, you shouldn't really be taking much, if any, physical damage. So this really doesn't do that much. Fleeted Footwork doesn't really do that much. The move speed is okay, but nothing insanely crazy. Again, Improved Kidney Shot maybe has some niche scenarios where you could use this. So basically my point here is this 1 out of 2 point into Master Poisoner, you don't have to put your point here. You can put it into any of these if you really, really want to put it into one of them. Totally up to you guys. But then we pick up Vigor, increases your maximum energy by 10. And then we get the second to last talent point. Really, really, really nice talent point here. Your finishing moves increase the damage of all of your offensive abilities by 10% for 10 seconds. This is really, really nice because this kind of rewards us for pooling energy now. So let's say you're pooling your energy to refresh your slice and dice at the perfect time, or pooling energy for whatever other reason, if there's a mechanic on the boss fight or if you're trying to line up something. Let's say you're pooling energy. Well, now you're rewarded for pooling your energy, because as soon as you dump your energy into a finishing move and getting some of your energy back from something like Relentless Strikes, then you can immediately dump your remaining energy into 1 or 2 mutilates, maybe even 3 mutilates. I doubt it, but 1 or 2 extra mutilates, and they'll have this extra 10% damage on them. So not only is this just adding damage pretty much any time you use a finishing move, but it also further rewards you for pooling up your energy. And then, of course, the signature spell of the build, Mutilate. 60 energy, requires daggers, that means main hand and offhand, instantly attacks with both weapons for an additional 101 with each weapon. Damage is increased by 50% against poison targets. Must be behind the target. Awards 2 combo points. So this is the bread and butter of the build. This is your combo point generator. And again, with Seal Fate, this can generate 3 combo points. So really, really good ability. Overall, I would say that, yes, like I said before, it's probably not going to beat Combat Swords. Even if you have full KT, Naxxramas Bis, all that good stuff, it's probably not going to beat Combat Swords. But is it going to be fun? I think so. I really, really enjoy Mutilate builds. So if I was a rogue and I had full Naxxramas gear, I would definitely be trying this out in TBC pre-patch. Maybe not every single raid, but at least 1 week, because it seems like a sweet build to play to me. Last but not least, we are going to do a PvP build. And I'm only including 1 PvP build because, let's be honest, guys, if you have TBC talents and you're PvPing as a rogue, there is no way in hell you're not going to play without Shadow Step or Cheat Death. I mean, Shadow Step and Cheat Death, that's like, I feel like that's what a rogue is. Am I wrong? Like, the rogue class, it just needs Shadow Step. Like, Shadow Step is just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, this is the embodiment of playing a rogue in PvP. Like, the Shadow Step is, that's it, boys. Shadow Step's just, that's it. Not only is Shadow Step extremely nice mobility and gap closer, but Cheat Death is also super, super sick. Now you can use Vanish to avoid something that could potentially kill you, and now you also have cheat death on top of that. Really, really nice to have. Anyways, let's go through this PvP build and break it down for you guys step by step. So we start off with Master Deception, reduces the chance that enemies have to detect you while in stealth. Obviously, this is really, really good because you don't want to get sapped by some other rogue on the opposing team, and obviously you want to get your sap off on the target or whatever opener you're trying to go for on the target without them hitting you and breaking your stealth. Then we get Dirty Tricks, increases the range of your blind and sap. Camouflage increases your speed while stealth by 15% and reduces the cooldown of your stealth by 5 seconds. Initiative gives you a 75% chance to add an additional combo point to your target whenever you're using Ambush, Garrett, or Cheap Shot ability. So it's really, really nice to just get that chance to have an extra combo point because that can really change the way you open up on someone. Elusiveness, and then we get Serrated Blades, giving you a little bit of armor penetration. Hemorrhage, of course, a really, really signature spell from the Subtlety tree that we're already used to from Classic WoW. Then Dirty Deeds reduces the energy cost of your Cheap Shot and Garrote abilities by 20. Additionally, your spells and abilities cause 20% more damage against targets below 35% health. So overall, better energy management, and on top of that, it also just gives you better execute potential as well. All around, really good talent point. Preparation, really, really good ability right there. Immediately finishing the cooldown on all of your abilities. Heightened Senses, again, something that just increases your stealth detection, gives you higher odds to find the other stealthy before they find you. And also slightly reduces the chance that you can be hit by spells and ranged attacks, which is also really good as well. It's not anything completely game-breaking, but it's always nice that if someone does see you in stealth, they have a slight chance to not break you out of it. Master of Subtlety, attacks made while stealthed and for 6 seconds after breaking stealth cause an additional 10% damage. This is kind of like the Find Weakness talent that we had in the Assassination Tree, but instead of it happening whenever we use a finishing move, this happens anytime we leave stealth. So basically, this means that our opener is a lot more aggressive because every time we open on someone, we get a 6-second 10% damage buff. So we're a lot more deadly in our opener. Then we have the old talent point that we had back in Classic WoW, Deadliness, just flat out giving you more attack power. Always a good thing to have when you're trying to PvP and kill the opponent in front of you. We have Premeditation, which used to be the old final talent point in Classic WoW. Just straight up gives you 2 extra combo points on your target, but you have to use those combo points within the first 10 seconds, which basically means it just gives you a stronger opener on the target that you're focusing on, especially alongside with something like Master Subtlety. Then we get Cheat Death, like I said, which, like I said before, is a huge part of the Rogue's toolkit in PvP. Gives you a 100% chance that if any attack would otherwise kill you, instead reduces you to 10% of your maximum health. In addition, all damage taken will be reduced by up to 90% for 3 seconds. So this is basically just giving you an extra life in PvP, which is a really, really big deal because not only do you have Vanish to reset and kind of have an oh shit button of sorts, but now you have Cheat Death on top of that. Just overall a super, super great talent point to have in any sort of PvP scenario. Then the second to last talent point, what Premeditation leads into, is Sinister Calling. Increases your total agility by 15%. That's a huge percentage, guys. That's a huge percentage. Gives you crit and a bunch of dodge. And increases the percentage damage bonus of your backstab and hemorrhage by 5%. Really, really good talent point here, guys. Really, really nice. Probably one of the better second to last talent points that we see in most of these different talent trees. And then, of course, the one I was mentioning before, Shadow Step. This is just what a rogue is. Am I wrong? I mean, tell me what you guys think. But when I think of a rogue in PvP, Shadow Step is the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't know about you guys, but definitely the first thing that comes to my mind. Costs 10 energy, Instant cast, 25-yard range, 30-second cooldown. Attempts to step through the shadows and reappear behind your enemy, and increases movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds. The damage of your next ability is also increased by 20%, and the threat caused is reduced by 50%. So not only is it mobility by instantly teleporting you to your target, but it gives you further mobility for the next 3 seconds and gives you high damage potential by giving you 20% more damage on your next ability. Just a great talent point. There's not much more you can say about it. It's just great. And then the remaining talent points that we have, instead of going into the combat tree, we ended up going into the Assassination Tree. And this might be wrong just because improved gouge is a really, really big deal for PvP. Improved gouge is huge. So this could be incorrect. Maybe you don't want to go for Ruthlessness and you want to go for Gouge instead. So we could go for something like this. I'm not quite sure. I believe it would probably depend on the scenario you're in, but maybe it's just the case that Improved Gouge is just flat out better. Not sure. But I don't know. I like Ruthlessness as well. Nah. Improved Gouge is probably just... It's probably just the way, you guys. It's probably just the way. Alright, guys, that's going to be it for Rogue. And all of you Rogue mains out there, or even if you're not a Rogue main, but you have an alt Rogue that you're currently raiding on, tell me what you think about that Mutilate spec. Because, like I said, I don't think it's going to be better than Combat Swords, but it still looks pretty sweet to play, at least to me. So, if any of you guys plan on trying out that Mutilate build, please let me know. I'm really interested just because, I kind of like playing those specs that are runner-up, second best and trying to min-max those. I feel like those are more fun to min-max to me. Anyways, we just have Paladin left in this series, and after this series, we're going to jump straight into TBC content, guys. So if you could just take a second, pop a like on the video, pop a subscribe on there, boys. Would really, really appreciate it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you guys next time.